It's new monitor day. This is very weird. I already know I want the bigger one. Oh my god, that looks so good. Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I did a thing. Yes, this is a 57-inch Samsung curved monitor. Now, this has been an absolute just complete disaster in terms of trying to get this thing to work. I originally decided to change this because my first monitor I had here, this is a 32-inch 4K display, which is how I did everything. And I also had my laptop off to the side, which I used basically as my second monitor. Never really worked that great because the laptop screens just aren't big enough, and then when they're sitting next to a 32-inch screen, it just looks kind of absurd. The laptop screen was barely ever used at all, and I was basically just working exclusively on the 32-inch. So then I come across the curved screens, and I actually ordered a 49-inch Samsung first. I had that for less than an hour hooked up, and I was like, nope, that ain't it. The resolution was not great. It just didn't have enough pixel density. And when you're sitting up close to the monitor, you really see that. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to send that back. And that's when I saw this 57-inch Samsung, and this is an 8K display. But the resolution on this is crazy high. This experience is absolutely bonkers. What I don't like about it is how much space, because of how it comes out, it actually takes a boatload of space here off of your desktop. A lot of people are on the forums are talking about how to mount this, and they're going with more of like a traditional kind of mount like you see my microphone stand here, what I used to have. But the monitor is just too big. I started searching high and low because I didn't want to send back two monitors, and truth be told, I just absolutely love this 57-inch. Editing a video on this thing was absolutely ridiculously awesome. With a monitor like this, what you do not need is you don't need to have the articulation where you're going to pull it out and angle it like you would with maybe a smaller monitor. All you need for this type of monitor, in my opinion, is something that's going to take it as far back on the desktop as possible and allow you to have vertical adjustment to get it set exactly where you want it height-wise, and also have a little bit of pitch ability to angle it up or down. I came across mountmymonitor.com and found this mount that I thought was absolutely perfect. I reached out to them just to verify this will hold. Like, hey, is this going to hold a 57-inch monitor? And I started just chatting with them about what I was doing here. And they actually offered to send this out to me so that I can show you guys probably the best solution, I hope. I don't know if it's going to work. It's actually still sitting here in the box. We'll give it a shot. This is my real hope of seeing if we can actually keep this monitor long term. I think it's going to do what I need it to do. So we are at about 10 inches and 7/8. We'll call it 11 inches. We're going to see how much better we can improve upon this pushing it back. They had this grommet mount, which would basically bolt directly to the desktop. And this is what I thought was going to be necessary. So this grommet mount would go on the top of the desk, and then this would mount to the bottom and then kind of bolt on. But they told me that this one is just as capable, which I questioned, but they said absolutely not a problem with this monitor. Okay, now that I see it, I believe it. When I was looking at it on the website, I was like, yeah, I don't really buy that, but this is a pretty absurdly robust clamp. We're going to trust them. This clamp also has a rubberized surface on it. By the time you attach this, and then you've got this rubberized surface, I think that's enough to keep it from going anywhere. We're going to use this. I'm sorry I'm very backlit in this video. I do not typically shoot this direction in the studio. So those are snug. I don't want to split the wood or anything, so it's plenty good. Yeah, That's fine. Where you want to, we'll set height. Ah, nice. Work smarter, not harder. That is so much better. 10 inches. So we basically gained an inch back, which doesn't sound like a lot, but an inch is a lot. But it actually gives you all of this space down here back, because that stand had these giant legs that just took all of this space down here. We now have all of this space back, usable space. I'll be able to get my keyboard, and this is good. Getting this monster a little bit further back, it's a big deal, and also having it kind of in a better spot. Now if I lower, yeah, I want to be able to get more stuff back, so I have a little more access to studio type equipment. This is the solution, mountmymonitor.com for sure. When you're up close to this monitor and you turn your head, you can see the monitor really kind of follows. It stays the same distance from your face. The 49-inch, actually, as you were looking at it, what the 49-inch would do is, as you were looking, the monitor would actually kind of get a little further away because it didn't have as much of a curve. So I did not enjoy that. I noticed it pretty quickly that it just seemed like the monitor, as you turned, was kind of getting further away. If I was going to go that route, at that point, I might as well just go cheaper with two separate monitors. I don't know, it didn't seem like a good experience to me. So also a big shout out to mountmymonitor.com, because without them, I would have absolutely returned to this thing. The ability to just even get it back 1 inch on the desktop surface was a huge game changer, not only for getting it a little bit further away from your face, but also to be able to get all of my studio stuff back out of my way is a huge game changer. The old monitor stand had these two arms that came out and basically took up all of this real estate. I could not do anything with it. So now all of this stuff that I don't use every day, I can slide back. When I need to use it, I can pull it out and have it here. And actually, what's really cool, I didn't even think about this when I did it, is that as I pull this stuff out, now it's actually also following, this kind of circular motion. So it starts to feel like a command center for creativity, which is pretty wild. I think this is a really cool setup. It's awesome. So I just wanted to share a bit of this process. And again, I will link all of the things that I was the most successful in using and deploying in this setup with the computers that I have currently. So if I can help somebody else who's going through this process, happy to do so. This was not meant to be an exhaustive review of all of the different docks that I used for this setup, why which ones didn't work the way that I wanted them to, or expectations. But I will link this dock that I used in the description down below, which is the one that I had the most success with, and also all of the things, in terms of which computers I was using, and I guess the results that I had. But drop a comment down below if you have a similar setup. What PC are you running? I would love to hear from other people who are also kind of gone through this process. Was it a pain for you? Did it just kind of work right off the bat? And with that being said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.